So I decided I'd do a little review for you guys today. I am in the driver's seat of a 2013 Scion FR-S. Now, the first impression when you sit in the front of this vehicle is that this thing is roomy. It is very, very roomy for a little sports car. Got this interior that is, for me personally, I don't really like boxy interiors on cars, you know, but for the FR-S, this works extremely well. 2.0 liter, that pushes about 200 horsepower, if I'm not mistaken. Now, this little car, one thing that I've noticed when driving it is this clutch is the smoothest clutch I have ever felt. It is just absolutely, it feels like somebody lubricated this clutch pedal with like 6 sticks of butter and like 4 bottles of lotion. That is how smooth this clutch is. I mean, when you push it in, you don't even have to press hard at all. Like, you just lay your foot on there and the clutch just sinks straight down. This car may not look like much, but it is quick. You know, when I'm driving this thing, I expect it to just take off, and it does. Its horsepower isn't much, but this thing just kicks. Like, watch. It doesn't have too much horsepower where it pulls you back into your seat, but this little thing just absolutely takes off when you drive it. And I mean, I just love the way it feels. It actually belongs to my dad. It's a, we went down to Toyota in Claremont when we bought the car, and we were actually looking to buy a Toyota 4Runner. And my dad calls me on the phone and he goes, hey, the water pipe on the 4Runner that we own is going out, so I'm thinking about just getting a new car. So I told my dad, I said, you know what? Don't buy anything until I get there. And so I jumped in my car and I drove out to Claremont Toyota, and we were sitting there and we were looking at this Toyota Tacoma. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, you know, the Tacoma's really nice, but the thing is it's too big. I won't be able to see over the front of the hood. So we started looking at another 4Runner, and I told my dad, I was like, you know what, let's just get this one. It's really nice. So we jumped in the car and we did a test drive, and my dad liked it and I liked it. So we brought it back to the dealership and we were going in to go buy it. Well, as we're walking into the showroom, we see this car sitting on the showroom floor, and it's this pearl silver Scion FR-S. And my dad and I both look, and we stop and we look at it and we go, oh, it's a stick shift. So we just decided to get it, and we took it for a test drive, and we're on the freeway, and my dad is going, I think, 87 or 90 miles an hour. And I looked at my dad and I said, hey Dad, do you know how fast you're going? And he said, no, why? And I was like, look at your speedometer. And he looks down and we were doing almost 100. You can't even feel it in this car. That's how smooth this thing is. And I just absolutely love this car. It's a limited edition, so it's number 1522 out of 2,000. So it's the limited edition comes with a push button start, and the limited edition paint job which is on it, which is the pearl silver. It's a custom paint, so naturally it came with the vehicle. And I just love the way this car handles. When you take corners in this thing, it just hugs you. Like, you have no body roll whatsoever. The suspension on it is really good. It's really low to the ground too, I've noticed. My 350Z, I thought it was low, and then I got in this thing. And the cool thing about the FR-S is that they have back seats. You know, most little two-door sports cars like this don't have back seats. So when I found out this thing had back seats, I was just like, you know what, I gotta get it. You know, so I told my dad, and we ended up buying it. And it was a really, really, really nice decision. And the way this thing changes lanes too is absolutely insane. You literally just have to flick the steering wheel like that, and you'll switch into the other lane. It is literally just boom, you're already there. They did come out with the 2014 FR-S. They put a lot more room into the car, so the back seats aren't as crammed. The way that it is in this FR-S is that when the back seats are in, when you're sitting back there and the front seats are pushed up, they're pretty much like squishing the top of your feet, and it's very uncomfortable. But the good thing that they tried to do that didn't really work too well is they tried to put more leg room at the front to compensate for that, but that didn't work out very well. So even with all that extra leg room, your feet still get crushed a little bit. So what they did in the 2014 and the 2015s is that they took them and they added more space to the back so that your feet don't get as squished. Now they do a little bit still, but it's mainly just the tips of your toes. It's not really anything bigger than that. So if you're thinking about getting an FR-S, my suggestion would be to do it. They are just great cars, you know, and I love the way that they feel when you drive. So the gas pedal is not super sensitive, but it's not to where you really have to get on it for the car to move, because this thing is so lightweight that the car just hauls by itself. You know, it's such a lightweight vehicle that when you drive it, you can't even feel any heaviness at all when you're taking off or when you're doing whatever, because the car is so, it's just so light, and I just absolutely love it. So I'm gonna drive her for a little bit and show you guys just exactly what she can do. And if I can get a chance to get over, I definitely will. Oh, the other thing that I want to talk about this car, when you drop this thing into gear, it just absolutely just sinks. Like in combination with the short shifter that's in here, it just puts the car out of any other league of any other small sports car that I've ever driven. I mean, it doesn't have a whole mess of a lot of power, but it doesn't need it. Like I said, the way this car handles is just amazing. the one thing that I think is really cool about this car in particular is that just like the 350Zs, their tachometer is smack in the middle. And not only is the tach there, but there's also this little digital speedometer right at the end of it. Or not at the end of it, but like right below it, there's this little digital speedometer, and it's telling you exactly how fast you're going. And on the 350Zs, the speedometer is actually up in this region right here. It's got like the speedometer, your oil pressure, and then the battery life. Well, I don't have to look over here to see how fast I'm going on the speedometer. I just have to look smack dab at the tach, because the speedometer is right below it. Now they have a regular speedometer with the needle and everything, and that's on the left side next to the tachometer. But you know, with that big speedometer with the digital one, you don't really even need to look at that, you know. So that's really nice. These cars are just absolutely amazing. I love them. I wanted to get one, but sadly I wanted something with a little bit more horsepower to it, so I ended up going with a 350Z. And there's a cop right across the street. Awesome. Maybe I'll race him. Left one of his bags. Loving this thing. Alright guys, well, I'm about to get home, so tune in next week for my next video. I'm gonna have a surprise for you guys, so you'll see what it is when you guys check out my next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until then guys, have a good one.